In this video, we're going to go over the BTS client portal used for clocking in and out and how you'll receive paychecks. So, how will you record hours worked? We use a custom client portal for clocking in and out, and you must use this system to receive an accurate paycheck. Your relationship coordinator will send you a separate training video for specifics on how to use the BTS portal once you're paired with a client. That email will also include your login information for the portal. Please keep it somewhere safe. We will cover shift types and what to clock in for in the next section. There are 5 different shift types that you will use in the client portal. Attendant care is the hourly, everyday care you provide for the clients. This is the shift type you will be using the most. It is for the day-to-day care of the client. 2-to-1 attendant care is when a client requires 2 DSPs for any number of reasons. This is something the relationship coordinator will go over with you if your client requires 2-to-1 care. Respite or relief care shifts are shifts that are 16 hours long, and they require approval from BCS management before you may work one. There are specific rules regarding the use of respite hours, which I will discuss in the next section. You will never use this code without management approval first. The next type is mileage. There will be further information about mileage on the portal training videos, but this is generally only paid for adult clients. The last shift code is training. This code is used for non-client contact and non-CEU work required by the agency. For instance, we pay up to 1 hour for an initial meetup with the family and meeting with supervisors under training codes. While CEUs are required training, they have specific values that have already been set, regardless of how slowly or quickly you complete them. You will not clock in for CEUs. If you're unsure about using this code, please ask a staff member. Now that you know the respite shift types, let's go over the respite shift policy. We only allow 1 respite shift per week per DSP. This means that if you have 2 clients with respite shifts available, you may only work one of those respites in a week. For purposes of the policy, our work week is defined as Sunday through Saturday. Respite shifts can only be 16 hours long, no more and no less. And during the week that a DSP works a respite shift, you also must have 16 hours of attendant care before the shift, but no more than 24 hours in the week. In addition, during that week, the DSP cannot work overtime. Approval for respite shifts require management approval. You can reach out to Sarah Martinez, Richard Neely, or Laurelyn Rapuela to get approval for a respite shift. You will be receiving video instructions from your RICO that go over specific steps for navigating the custom client portal. For this portion of onboarding, I'm just going to briefly cover what that will look like. Because we require you to use an EVV system for clocking in and out, which means that your location will need to be verified, you will likely want to add a shortcut to the portal on whatever device you're using. Instructions for creating a shortcut will be in the portal training videos. The email you receive from the relationship coordinator will have the username and password you will need to sign in for the first time. Once you've signed in for the first time and reset your password, you will be using the dashboard for clocking in and out during shifts. Okay, so after you've added the portal to your home screen, signed in for the first time, and found the clock in, clock out section, you're going to want to use this for every shift you work. You must clock in and clock out to receive an accurate paycheck. The first time you sign into the portal for adding a shift, it's going to ask you if you'd like to enable location services. You need to click yes or always allow, or whatever your device is asking for. You must have GPS enabled when clocking in and clocking out under federal guidelines. After selecting the clock in function, select your client's name from the drop-down menu, then hit Next. Here you will be selecting the shift type. The majority of the time you will be selecting attendant care for your shifts. You can re-familiarize yourself with shift types from earlier in this video if needed. Once you've selected your client and chosen the shift type, go ahead and confirm the location, then hit Submit. Again, all of this will be covered more in depth in the portal training that your relationship coordinator will be sending you when you start with us. Before you clock out, you will need to submit shift notes. There will be further training about adding shift notes in the portal training. This portion is going to focus on what your shift notes must contain before clocking out. The first question is going to ask you what goal you worked on with the client during the shift. Next, it will ask what actions you took to support achieving the goal. Then, what specifically you did with the client that was working towards the goal. And next, what was the result of the goal you were working on for that shift. There will be 2 additional questions that you will probably not be using on a day-to-day basis. The first is whether anything significant took place during the shift. Was there an incident you needed to report? Did anything out of the ordinary happen? And the second is for any additional information you'd like to add. Save your notes and reconfirm your GPS location. Now you're ready to clock out. To reiterate, the 4 things you must fill out before clocking out at the end of this shift are the goal, which goal did you work on, and is this found on the client's ISP? The action, what did you do to help the client? The situation, describe what actions were taken to support the goal, and the results. Was it successful? Should you have done something differently, or did it work out well? So you've done all of this, and now you're wondering how you get paid. BTS can issue your paycheck via mailed paper check or direct deposit. While they generally should be on time, BTS cannot guarantee the on-time delivery of mailed paper checks. Pay periods are from the 1st to the 15th and the 16th to the end of the month. You are paid every 1st of the month and 15th of the month. For example, if you work hours between the 1st and 15th of the month, you are paid the following 1st. Hours worked from the 16th to the end of the month are paid the following 15th. Let's talk about paycheck processing now. Recorded hours are tracked in the BTS client portal. You can always see your hours worked in the portal. To maintain EVV compliance, these hours must be attached to your client with accurate GPS locations. We suggest you clock in promptly after entering your client's house. If you're picking your client up, we suggest you clock in just before you make contact with your client. I will go over EVV compliance regulations in the next section of this video. Pay periods end on the 14th of the month at 11:59 p.m. and the last day of the month at 11:59 p.m. Hours that you have worked that weren't entered into the client portal cannot be paid until the next pay period if you miss these dates. If you are working a night shift that crosses into days of the next pay period, you need to clock out at 11:59 p.m. and then clock back in at 12. Better Together Supports is known as a standard modeled agency that provides personal care services. Because of this, we are required by federal law to comply with EVV regulations. Implementation of EVV compliance was required for standard modeled agencies beginning January 1st of 2020 and by all other Medicaid funded services such as direct support workers for the state of Oregon by January 1st of 2023. Section 12006 of the CARES Act outlines how agencies can be compliant with EVV requirements, and we follow those regulations here at BTS. The BTS client portal requires all information relevant to compliance with the CARES Act for clocking in and out. You must select the shift type when clocking in. You choose the client you are working with. The date of service is recorded when you clock in and out. The location is tracked by enabling GPS. The portal records who the DSP providing services is. This would be you when you sign in. And times for the beginning and ending of services are recorded when you clock in and out. It is imperative as a DSP that you are using the client portal for accurately tracking your hours. Repeated failure to comply with use of the portal may lead to an employee review by HR. If for any reason you are struggling with the portal, please reach out to a staff member immediately. We will do our best to assist you. Let's go over the rules for weekly and monthly hours now. You may not work more than 40 hours in a week. You may not exceed the client's allotted monthly hours. Portal training will show you where you can check this. ISPs will have specific hours for each client. Please do not go over hours as it could result in disciplinary action. And if you need more hours, please contact your RICO for additional client referrals. To conclude, more information on the portal will be in the training you receive from the RICO team. Be sure to watch for this email when you start working with a client. And lastly, we're always happy to try to find additional clients that you're willing to support if you need more hours. Please feel free to contact us.